Jesus, what the fuck was that? Not sure if it was a bee or a fly. What's up guys, it's Aleks Dayum. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far, and hopefully this video makes your day even better. Today I'm going to talk about my best and most important tips for building muscle. So last week's video, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it now. It was about my 3 most important tips when it comes to dieting and burning fat. And obviously when you're trying to get a better physique, the 2 most important things to do is obviously to build muscle so that you have a better physique in general, like your muscles look better, more rounder, more full, and you have the right proportion. So for example, you want bigger shoulders, you want a smaller waist, you want a wide back, decently big arms but not too big in proportion to the size of your chest and your shoulders, and obviously you want big legs and you want it to all look balanced and just to flow naturally and to just have an aesthetic physique. But also you need low body fat, which is why I talked about in the last video how to burn fat basically, and my most important tips for that. But today I'm going to talk about the other piece of the puzzle, which is going to be building muscle and just building a better physique. And if you have a balance between having a good amount of muscle and a low body fat, that's the perfect combination in order to build an aesthetic physique. So if you haven't already, make sure you go back to the last video on the channel about my 3 most important tips for dieting. Watch that video, then come back to this one, and let's get into the most important tips I have for building muscle and building an aesthetic physique. One thing I want to quickly address before I delve into my most important tips for building muscle is my hair is getting super fucking long right now, as you can see, and it's starting to look like I have a bit of a mop on my fucking head. So yeah, just wanted to quickly address that. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you smash the thumbs up button and also subscribe to the channel and join the squad. There's a new video on the channel every single week, so make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications. YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. And yeah, make sure you take the time to hit the like button or smash the thumbs up, even share it with your friends. If you do something as simple as taking your hand, putting it over to the mouse, clicking the like button, or just getting your freaking finger and pressing the like button if you're on a phone, it really helps my channel out. I am a smaller channel, and when you like the video, it gets higher rated, which means YouTube is going to push the channel to more people so more new people can see it. So if you found the video useful, maybe other people can too. And the best way to help me out is by giving a like and subscribing to the channel as well. Alright, so let's get started with the first tip. Tip number 1 is going to be eating in a calorie surplus. This is very, very crucial and very, very important if you want to build muscle. And one thing I'll quickly mention is that this video is mainly going out to natural lifters like myself. These tips are really, really important if you're a natural lifter. If you're an enhanced lifter, then I'm pretty sure you have a much easier way of building muscle, and these tips aren't as important to you, but I'm sure they can help you. But this is really, really gonna ring home and be important for people that are natural lifters. So when it comes to building muscle, when you're natty, you need to be in a calorie surplus in order to build muscle. And the only really other time that you don't need to be is when you first start training, because when you first start training and you haven't trained at all, your body's adaptation to training is really, really high, and therefore you're actually able to build a muscle not in a calorie surplus. But if you're anything past like 2 to 3 months of training, then you need to be in a calorie surplus in order to build muscle. Now this is very, very important. The sun's coming out and then it's going away, and it's making me have to readjust my freaking settings on my camera every time it comes out, but that's alright. So calorie surplus, okay, what does this mean? You need to eat more calories than what you burn. This means you're in a calorie surplus. So let's say you burn 3,000 calories in a day, but you eat 3,300 calories. That means you're in a calorie surplus, and you're in a surplus of 300 calories. Now, do you have to track your calories in order to be in a calorie surplus? Not necessarily. Does it help, and would I recommend it? Yes, because let's say you're not tracking calories but you're trying to be in a calorie surplus and you're just eating whatever. You don't know 100% whether or not you ate the amount of calories that you're required in order to bulk. But then again, bulking is a bit easier than shredding, for example, because you know, with bulking you only really need to be in a calorie surplus. So if you eat a lot in a day, more likely than not, you're probably going to be in a calorie surplus, but it's not for certain. So that's why tracking does help, but it's not 100% necessary. Now, when it comes to calorie surplus, there's a few things you can go about it. You can go the dirty bulk, where you just literally eat everything you see in sight every single day. Now, the negatives of this is you're gonna put on a lot more fat than you need to, and that means when you go to cut in the future, you're gonna have to cut for even longer, which means you may potentially lose some muscle. The positives of dirty bulking is it's pretty fun because you pretty much eat whatever you want, how much you want. You have a lot of energy for your training, and you will build muscle. The better approach would be a lean bulk, where you find out how many calories you burn in a day. For example, 3,000, okay? This individual that burns 3,000 calories in a day from training and everything else, you're gonna eat in a calorie surplus, but only in a surplus of around 200 to 300 calories. So you're gonna eat 3,200 to 3,300 on a daily basis. Now, this small calorie surplus, what this allows you to do is be in a calorie surplus, so A, you can build muscle, but B, the benefits of this rather than dirty bulk is because you're only in a surplus of about 200 to 300 calories, it means you're gonna put on less fat, which means in the future, when you wanna do a cut, okay, to look lean and look better, you won't have to cut for as long because you'll be in a leaner state with that same amount of muscle. Can you gain more muscle on a dirty bulk? Probably. Is it a lot? I don't think it's that much. Which option is best to go for? Lean bulk for sure. But if you just started lifting and you just want to build muscle and you don't give a fuck, just go hard out and just eat as much as you can in order to build that muscle, especially if you're early on in training, because in that time period you can make so many gains that if you eat a lot and train a lot, you can make heaps of fucking gains and heaps of muscle. Alright, tip number 2 is going to be training consistently. So you'll have a lot of people that you may see them in the gym for about 3 years and they may not have made a lot of gains from that time period. You don't want to be that guy, okay? So you're gonna have to follow these tips. So first one was being in a calorie surplus. Make sure you're in a calorie surplus. The next thing is gonna be training consistently. You'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you just have a conversation with them, hey man, how you going? What are you training today? Oh man, I'm training back today. It's my first day back in like a week. Oh, okay, fair enough. Why, man? Oh, I couldn't really be bothered. I just wanted to stay at home. I just didn't really feel like training, you know, I just didn't feel like it. Alright, fair enough. And you don't want to be doing that, okay? You want to be training consistently, very consistently. So you want to be training at least 4 to 5 times a week. Ideally 5 to 6 times a week if you really want to make a lot of gains and change your physique, change your body, and create an aesthetic physique that you're happy with and just that you're proud to show off. So 5 to 6 times a week for sure. And not only do you want to train 5 to 6 times a week, what's that, like 300 days a year, something like that. I don't have the math correctly in my head right now, but basically what I mean by that is you don't want to train 5 days a week for 2 weeks and then take a week off and then train 5 days a week. You want to train 5 days a week every single week. That's what I mean by consistency. So it's a long-term game. So long-term game, I'm mentioning this again because it is a long-term game. Building a physique takes a long time. So being consistent, man. Even you don't want to train for 2 months consistently 5 days a week and then take a month off. You know, you don't want to be doing that because you're at this point, right? Option A, okay, all right, let's start here. You're here. Option A is you train consistently for a month. You move up here, all right? Time is always moving. Option B is you don't train for a month, so you lose gains, okay? And in the 2 scenarios, the difference is like that much. I don't know if I explained that well, but I think you get what I mean. If you don't train consistently, you go down, but if you train consistently, you go up. So the difference between you training consistently and not training consistently is a lot. And it's because it's the difference between your baseline, where you started, where you would have went up, and where you would have went down. And that's the difference right there. So if you're training 5 to 6 days a week, keep that as consistent as possible. Okay, if you take a day off during the week because, I don't know, you have an injury, you don't feel really good, fair enough. But don't go taking 2 days off every single week or every single month, or, you know, you just want to be training as consistently as possible. No excuses. If you don't feel like going to the gym that day, go. Everything in your mind is going to be telling you, oh, I can't be bothered going to the gym. Go, do a quick workout, okay? Just do something. Doing something is always better than nothing, and you're gonna feel better about it. And more likely than not, once you start doing that little bit of a workout, let's say you aim to do a light workout. You start doing that light workout, you start getting a sweat, you start getting a pump, you start getting more into it, and then you start just naturally giving more effort towards it. So just go in there, get what you have to get done, and yeah, just do it consistently as well. Okay, tip number 3. This is a pretty easy one. It's gonna be sleep. Sleep is really important for building muscle. It's one of the key factors. Diet, training, and sleep. Sleep is so freaking important, man. A lot of people don't think about it, but sleep is very important. Now, how much sleep am I talking? Am I talking 12 hours a day? No. I'm talking like 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. When I started doing bodybuilding properly, I made a commitment to myself that I'm gonna sleep 8 hours every single day. Some days I'll sleep 7, some days I'll sleep 9. I don't really sleep less than 7 hours a day. Now, if you're a workaholic and you're just crazy focused and you want to be up 24/7, fair enough, but you're not going to make it as much gain. So sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night is not going to be that, you're not going to be maximizing your gains. You're really not. So sleep is very important, not only for like building muscle, but like your hormones, how you feel in a day, your energy levels, even your diet, because it affects your appetite, which is bad when you're bulking because you want to have more of an appetite. There's so many things that it can throw off. I think even with your fat burning abilities, you're not going to be as good. Your brain isn't going to be working or functioning as well. Probably your motivation will go down. I think it affects so many things, and sleep is so important. So make sure you sleep at least 7 hours a day. Between 7 to 8 hours a night is probably going to be the perfect amount. But sleep is very important and one of the key and crucial factors for building muscle. So don't neglect it, and don't look at it as, oh, I'm just going to sleep 4 hours every single day and make a lot of gains. I promise you, if you bump that up to even 6 to 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, you will see a change. And it also affects your training, not only building muscle. And training has a direct impact on building muscle. Okay, so if you don't sleep as well, you're not going to train as hard because you don't have the energy or the motivation. Wow. So yeah, if you don't sleep as well, you're not going to have the energy or the motivation to train, which will have a direct impact on your training, which has a direct impact on your ability to gain muscle. So sleep, very important. Don't neglect it. Alright, so a little bit of a recap before we move on to the last tip. So tip number 1 is going to be eating in a calorie surplus. Probably the most crucial thing when it comes to building muscle, because as a natural lifter, you can't really build muscle if you're not in a calorie surplus. It's almost impossible, and anyone that claims that they're building muscle on not calorie surplus is most likely an enhanced lifter. Okay, so tip number 2 is going to be training consistently. So this means training 4 to 5 times, even up to 6 times a week. 5 to 6 is probably the range you really want to be at, and doing that consistently on a monthly and yearly basis. So not taking 1 week to 2 weeks to a month off, doing that throughout the whole year and doing that every single year. And then you'll be able to build a physique that's worth 5 to 10 years of actual training. And tip number 3 is going to be your sleep. Sleep is very important for your hormones, for your energy levels, for your appetite, for your diet, for your training, and your ability to build muscle. So sleep is very important. Around 7 to 8 hours is what I recommend. I'm sure you can get away with 6 hours, but I like to stay within that 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. And now we're going to move on to the last tip. Tip number 4 is going to be your training split. Choosing the right training split is very important. Okay, I made this change about 2 years ago. So I first started off doing the bodybuilding split, and I have a video talking about all this in detail. I'm going to link it in the description, so I recommend you watch that one as well. The video is called push-pull legs versus the bro split. I'll go over this quickly here, but I'll talk about more in depth in that video. So the last tip is going to be your training split. So you have the training split that a lot of people do, which is the bodybuilder slash bro training split. Now this is going to be Monday chest, Tuesday legs, Wednesday back, Thursday shoulders, Friday arms. Basically the basis of it is you train every single muscle group once a week, and so let's say you train chest on Monday, you wait a whole week until next Monday to train chest again. Then you have the superior and the best training split, which is push pull legs. If you want to make the most gains, switch to this right now. Monday, start off with legs. Tuesday, you do push, which is chest, shoulders, triceps. Wednesday, your third day, is going to be a pull workout, which is going to be back, biceps, and you can incorporate traps as well. Then you take a rest day, and then you go back to legs, push, pull, rest. Legs, push, pull, rest. This is 6 days a week, okay? So it's going to be the absolute best one for building muscle. Now, why is this so much more superior than the bodybuilding split? Okay, this next part is literally only for natural lifters, and here's why. When you train a muscle, you elevate your proteins, you elevate your protein synthesis levels. Now, during the time that your protein synthesis levels are elevated, this is the time when you can actually build muscle. When you're a natural lifter, let's say I train chest right now, okay? I'm gonna elevate my muscle protein synthesis levels for 24 to 48 hours, up to. So a maximum of 48 hours. So I can only build muscle for those 48 hours. If you train on a bodybuilder split, you have to wait a whole week in order to elevate your muscle protein synthesis levels. But if you train push-pull legs, if I train push on, let's say I do legs on Monday, okay, I elevate my muscle protein synthesis levels for 24 to 48 hours maximum, okay? Then I train legs again on either Thursday or Friday, and that means I'm gonna elevate my levels again. So that means in the timeline, okay, the person that's doing the bodybuilder split has to wait a whole week to elevate their levels again. But the person that's doing push-pull legs can elevate their levels twice a week, which means you're making almost twice the amount of gains as a person that's only training once a week. So training your muscle groups 2 times per week is very crucial and very, very, very important to build muscle and to maximize your gains. So if you're still training 1 muscle group per week, trust me right now, stop, try push-pull legs. It's a lot more fun. Hurts your joints less as well because you're not doing as many exercises per workout for each muscle group, but you're making more gains because you're elevating your muscle protein synthesis levels on a more consistent basis, and this is so important for natural lifters. If you're not a natural lifter, your muscle protein synthesis levels are elevated all the time, so you can get away with training once a week for each muscle group. But if you're a natural lifter like me, 2 times a week is the minimum to train your muscle groups every single week. And another option is a full body workout split, which is, let's say you do 3 full body workouts a week. Still better than a bodybuilder split, even though you're only training 3 times a week. Why? Because you're training legs, chest, every single muscle group 3 times a week. So you're training legs 3 times a week, which means you're elevating your levels for muscle protein synthesis for your legs 3 times a week, whereas this person is still only training once a week and elevating them once a week. So in a month, right? Let's say you have push-pull legs versus bodybuilder split. In a month, the bodybuilder split, you elevate your muscle protein synthesis levels for legs 4 times in a month. If it's push-pull legs, it's 2 times a week, which means it's 8 times a week you're elevating your levels, which means more fucking gains. End of story. Alright, so I want to quickly mention that the next video I'm going to do is a Q&A because I had a lot of fun shooting the last Q&A that I did, and I'm pretty sure you guys enjoy watching Q&A. So what I need you to do quickly right now, go into the comment section, type me any questions you want to ask me for the Q&A, and I'll ask them in the next video next week. Ask me anything you want, diet, training, life advice, whatever it is, anything about me. Just go in the comment section, quickly write a few questions, and then continue on with the rest of this video. Alright, that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. So I'll see you guys next time for another video. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button, and always remember to keep the pump.